Hello everyone, Soulsborne Fanatic here. Today, we're doing a video that I may have done before in the past. A tier list on bosses from Elden Ring. Now, the one from before that I did was when I only had like 100 or so hours in the game. I think I just beat it. And coming back to it after 200 more hours, I think some opinions have changed. I've learned more of the mechanics of these boss fights, and it's probably become more objective, correct, and factual. Alright, so let's get started. So, first boss is Battlemage Hughes. I think this is those ever jail things. This boss, he's not even a boss, that's just a regular enemy that you find multiple times throughout the game. He's basically just a stronger mage. His moveset, he has like a hammer, and he shoots like better form of with the Glintstone, like shadow thing. He's not really anything special. I'd say he's D tier. Now, Beast of Farum Azula. This is a boss that you fight pretty much at the beginning of the game. The first cave that you walk into. Usually, this will probably be the second or third boss, depending on how you progress. This is a regular enemy as soon as you make it up to Farum Azula. He's okay. I'd say that's another D tier boss. Nothing special. Bell-bearing Hunter. This is probably the coolest boss that is spammed throughout the game. You can fight like 30 of these, and they're always where the merchants are if you rest and wait until nighttime. The lore behind them is that they killed all of the merchants for their ball bearings, and you see that later in the game after you beat Moog the Elmer. Pretty disturbing. I would say this is close to C tier, but another D tier because you just see it so much, so much. Boreas, the Freezing Fog. This is a dragon boss fight. You fight on the mountaintop, where the giants are. Probably the worst dragon fight in the game, easily. I hate this boss fight. He emits frost just from him standing there, and so you can't. Melee players are kind of like screwed. You can't really do anything melee-wise because the freeze. You can't go near him, so you're kind of screwed in that regard. And it just feels really unfair. And dragon fights usually aren't very fun because they fly over the place. Seems like this one loves doing that and spamming his freeze attacks. I would say this is another D tier boss. I'd put this also probably between there. Cementary Shade. This is a boss that you fight, I believe, in one of the catacombs. He teleports around. He has like a bleed weapon. He summons a few add-ons. Nothing really special about him. I would say there's another D tier boss. Hardly call that a boss though. Cleanrot Knight. This you fight 2 of these in Kindred, and then you fight one of them in like Leone, I believe, in like a poison swap. I like the design of these guys. The moveset's pretty cool. But they're just a regular enemy as soon as you make it to Nicholas Erdtree. I would say these are probably C tier. And the reasoning for why is because I think they are more unique than these ones. Commander Niel, I think you fight him like 3 times. Once in Kindred, and once in the mountaintops. I think you fight him 1 more time too as well. I don't remember where, but Commander Niel, I would say this is D tier as well. His entire gimmick is summoning add-ons, and it just feels like artificial difficulty. His moveset is very well choreographed and easy to learn. Not particularly that great of a boss fight. Black Blade Kindred. This is the Valkyrie. No, not the Valkyrie. This is the gargoyle that you see at the Kindred, where you see the Beast Clerksman. This guy is pretty cool. I don't really care for the gargoyles. They spam them like crazy throughout Elden Ring. I would say this is close to... Nah, I don't know. I'd say this is also D tier. The gargoyle fights usually are on terrains that are rough and hard to fight them. The one in the underground place, you got all this stuff everywhere to where you run into, and they spam poison attacks. This one is on like a slanted ground. It's kind of annoying to fight them. It's alright boss fight. Black Knife Assassin. You fight these quite often. The moveset's pretty cool. I quite like these guys. I would say this is a C tier fight. Well, they're all women, but the Black Knives, the lore is that they killed Godwin in the Night of the Black Knives, and you fight the Black Knife Assassins like 3 times in 3 separate boss fights, I believe. Not really anything that special. It's alright though. Bloodhound Knight Darwell. This is another Everjail boss that you can summon Blade to fight with. You get his Bloodhound Fang from it, one of the best weapons in the game. I would say that's another C tier boss fight. He has the weapon art on him to where he does the quick step, and then he hits you with a slash and he can do it twice. Pretty cool. Balls Carian Knight, another Everjail boss, but you can also see him as a regular enemy in Liurnia. I think this guy's just kind of annoying. Probably the most unfun troll to fight. Another D tier. Commander O'Neill. So, this is Nail, but the Kaled version. I would say this one's worse. I don't quite like fighting Commander O'Neill. Nail, he does like frost and lightning attacks. No, yeah, I think so. And his moveset's pretty cool, more unique than this one. This one just swings his little flag, and it's just not very unique. Crucible Knights, they spam these throughout the game like 12 times. The Crucible Knights are, I just found them, they're like alright. They're more annoying than anything. They have the moveset where they use like they have the incantations that they use. The Crucible Knights served Godfrey, and throughout there's like 12 of them throughout the world. One on the Deep Root Depths, one in Mountain, the Manor, and there's one of them in Lendell, one in Everjail, and there's one by Moog's Palace. You can see him looking out into the purple place. The Crucible Knights, there's also one of them in Stormvale. They're alright, I'd say they're C tier. Crystallians, these guys are a pain. If you do not have a blunt weapon, you will get your shit kicked in, because they just have infinite poise if you if you aren't doing that. They're kind of a joke though, because you can just backstab them, and you can just like repeatedly do that. The spear one is extremely annoying, and I really dislike him. I would say that's also D tier. Decaying Ezekiel, this is a Kaled dragon, Scarlet Rot. This is an alright dragon fight. I would say it's probably better than Boreas. Somewhere in the D tier. Demi Human Queen. You see this one in the Weeping Peninsula, I believe, where it's a regular enemy as well. It's alright. Another D tier boss. I think it summons add-ons. Moveset, it just screams at you and like swings around. It's cool, I guess. Demi-Human Chief. Don't even remember this one. Genuinely don't even remember this one. I'll say it's probably a D tier boss. Divine Bridge Golem, this is a boss. I don't even remember. Well, I've fought in the golems before, but well, they're literally just a game of smacking their leg until they fall over. Kind of a joke. I wouldn't say it's quite F tier, but it's really low really low. Dragonskin Soldier Maxtella. There's like 4 Dragonskin Soldiers that you fight throughout the game. This is probably the one that's the most bearable. The one in the Lake of Rot is obscenely obnoxious. I would say this is a D tier boss as well. Erdtree Avatar. These guys, you see them all throughout the Lands Between. You got Scarlet Rot ones. You got just regular Holy ones. I think that's the only difference between the two. The Scarlet Rot ones, I hate fighting. The regular ones, yeah, it's alright. They're quite easy. I would say they're slightly above the, like right around here. Erdtree Burial Watchdog. I'm gonna give that the F tier. I hate this boss. I think it sucks. I call them cats. Their entire moveset is going at like 3 frames per second. They have this annoying move where they spin each time you get to like the side of them. Breathe fire. They're ridiculously easy, and you fight them so often. Do not care for that boss. Esker, Priest of Blood. Don't even remember this boss either. Probably a D tier. Fallingstar Beast. You fight these like 4 times, I believe. Kaled, the mountain place, and I think once more in Atlas Plateau. You can fight like the baby version of them or the fully grown one. The fully grown ones are actually a bit of a concern. The baby ones are a joke. Another D tier boss, I would say. Close to C tier though. Fell Twins, literally just 2 omens. That's D tier. Dragonskin Soldier. That's the exact same one as the other one. So I'm going to put that with the other one. Wherever that was. Wait, Dragonlord Placidusax. That's the one that I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Dragonlord Placidusax. This is one of the best dragon fights in the game. I absolutely hate the run back though. Dear God, what were they thinking? It's not the worst, but it's not unbearable or anything. It's just more of a minor inconvenience. The boss fight isn't really that difficult either. It's really cool though, fighting him. I really like this dragon fight. He has these moves where he like disappears, like the twin princes from Dark Souls 3, and then he slashes at you. He has that red lightning as well, like the other dragon. He's probably, I would say this is an A tier boss fight. One of the best dragon fights in the game. Extremely hard to find. You probably missed that. Elden Beast. Oh boy, they didn't put Radagon and Elden Beast together. I see them as the same boss fights. Elden Beast, I think it's an S tier. I don't know if I'd put it S tier. I would say it's at least A tier. Radagon is definitely S tier for me. But Elden Beast, it's a really good boss fight, don't get me wrong. But Radagon's just better. Elden Beast, he has these really cool moves where it's just a battle of endurance. I think Elden Beast is probably like a good version of a deer. Elden Beast is great. I love fighting Elden Beast. Elmer of the Briar. That's literally just a ball-bearing guy, but you see that in like this little rot town. Put that right next to him. I don't think he has any unique moves compared to the ball-bearing here. I think they have the exact same moveset. PS Champions, D tier boss fight. You just fight like 4 guys, I believe. And they're just regular enemies. Not anything very special. Fire Giant. I hate Fire Giant. I think this boss sucks. It's literally just a fight of running up to his feet and smacking it around. And he rolls around like crazy. I would say this is probably the worst main boss fight in the game. Easily. I love the presentation and the design of the boss fight. And he's probably he's one of the main story bosses that you don't see ever again. Which is a surprise, certainly, but you see Margot twice, you see Radon once, you see Millennium once, you see Godrick 3 times, I think, and you see Granalo once, Radagon once. Fire Giant, I would say he's B tier. The only thing redeeming thing is about the cool design of him. The moveset, you can't even see him attacking you. The giant boss fights really just don't go so well sometimes. And that's a case of it. Flying Dragon aghell, the first dragon fight that you can do. He teaches you to use your horse, Torrent. Pretty cool dragon fight. Very easy. Dragon fights aren't very hard. You just run around, smack his head with your horse. I would say that's probably C tier. Very low C tier. Full-grown Fallingstar Beast. So this is just a Fallingstar Beast, but stronger. I would say that's probably C tier. I don't know what moves he does differently exactly, I forget. Glintstone Dragon Smaragd? Huh. What about the Dragon Azula? I wonder where that is. Huh. Well, that's an alright dragon fight. I would say that's C tier. Godfrey the Grafted. Literally just fight Godrick again. D tier. Godfrey the first Elden Lord. Oh boy. This fight right here is a gimmick fight. The gimmick is you gotta stop. He stops and like rips apart the earth. And it's all about timing. Extremely cool character. Love the music. Love the design. Love how the lion on his back was holding him back. Really cool boss. But I think his moveset is really annoying. I think it is extremely annoying. Another one of the bosses where his second phase, he still has half health like Malekith. I would say he's above Fire Giant. I don't think I'd put him with Dragonlord. I think Godfrey's a B tier boss fight. Godrick the Grafted. I think Godrick's A tier. Easily. Godrick is a really underrated boss fight. He's so early in the game to where he just goes like kind of like underrated. Godrick's a really cool boss fight. The whole cutscene with him, dragon coming out of his, cuts his arm off and he puts the dragon on it and grabs it. That was one of the coolest moments in the game. Extremely cool. Godskin Noble. My opinion of these guys is extremely hateful. I would say he's C tier. Just barely C tier. Godskin Duo. F tier boss fight. The most uncreative boss fight probably in the game. They just put two single ones together, like the Misbegotten and the Crucible Knight. It's not even a hard boss fight. Some people have nightmares with this boss fight. You just gotta hide behind the pillars. And the thing about this boss fight is you don't just kill two of them. They respawn each other because they have a shared health pool. And I think that just goes to show just how terrible the boss fight is. Godskin Noble. I would say he's slightly better than the Apostle. He has the whole roll move that I find extremely annoying. Grafted Scion. First boss in the game that you fight. I would say that's D tier. Really annoying. I hate that boss. Despise it even. Grand Warden Duelist. This is an enemy that you just see at the Colosseums. He's a regular enemy and he's also a boss sometimes. I would say he's okay. I don't know if I'd put him C tier though. I'd say he's D tier as well. Kindred of Rot. Are you serious? That's a boss fight? That's D tier. I hate Kindred of Rot. Most annoying enemy in the game. Easily. I hate this. I absolutely despise Kindred of Rot. Leone Misbegotten. I think you fight that guy twice. It's okay, I guess. I would say it's D tier as well. With Dragonlord Placidusax. I think that's an S tier boss fight. And my reasoning for why it's S tier. I love the music way more than Dragonlord. I love the fight way more than Dragonlord. And the run back isn't absolutely awful. Lich Dragon for Placidusax. I think I said that completely wrong. He was one of the dragons that Godwin tamed and befriended, like Nameless King in Dark Souls 3. Pretty funny, but really cool boss fight. One of the best music tracks in the game. Extremely underrated. This boss is worth doing CS questline for. One of the best hidden bosses in the game. Leone Guardian. They seriously just turned a regular mob into a boss fight again. Another D tier boss fight. Loretta, Knight of the Erdtree. This is a fight, you fight this twice. And once in Ronnie's place, wherever that hell that place was called. It's okay. I would say it's just barely C tier. She runs around and does magic and stuff. It's basically just reskinned, like the other horseback battles. Mad Pumpkinhead. D tier boss fights. You see these all over the place. Mimic tier boss fight. D tier boss fight. You just fight yourself. Pretty goofy. I like the boss fight, but it's like nothing special. Miranda, the Blighted Bloom. That's literally just what the most annoying enemy in the game. They just turned that into a boss fight, to where it just sits there, and if you have a fire weapon, you'll absolutely melt it. I think I'd put that at the F tier. I think that's probably the worst. One of the worst boss fights in the game, easily. Mohg the Omen. You fight Mohg twice. Mohg. I love Mohg the Omen, but Mohg, Lord of Blood, is easily S tier. Mohg the Omen. Put that in the B tier. This is like the Daniel, and this is cooler Daniel. So, Mohg the Lord of Blood is probably one of my favorite bosses in the game. I absolutely love fighting Mohg Lord of Blood. His moveset is just so fun to learn. The only gripe I have with Mohg is the no knee heal thing. We have to go find the item to find it, and it forces you to take damage. That's the only mechanic that I really dislike. As I've mentioned before, the blood thing, where he spams blood. Kind of annoying. Magma Wyvern, you fight these like 3 times. D tier boss fight. Lots of D tier boss fights in Elden Ring. Oh, the most controversial boss fight in the game. Malenia Blade of Miquella. As you might have noticed, that's my favorite boss in Elden Ring. I love Malenia. Malenia is a great boss fight. Her moveset is very easy to learn. And the whole thing about Malenia is that people that hate, so as you know, the waterfowl dance. Malenia is one of the coolest bosses in the game. She nuked an entire continent just because she's a girl boss. Malenia, very based. She doesn't care. She'll tell you her name 20, 50, 60 times. My favorite boss fight in the game. Alright, moving on from the best boss fight in the game to the worst. No, Malekith, the Black Blade. This boss right here is extremely cool. Malekith, they should have gave him a phase 2 with a full health bar. Malekith, pretty easy boss fight, not gonna lie. I beat him my 2nd try. I did not expect to beat him so soon. That I planned, if I didn't beat him after 5 tries, I was gonna go fight Dragonlord. But I guess I did it early. I wish I had footage of that, but it got corrupted. Malekith, he unbounds the Rune of Death. He's Marika's shadow. His fight is extremely easy. The pillars really help the boss fight. If you don't use the pillars, you're gonna have a bad time. Malekith, he is extremely easy. His moveset, it kind of sucks if you're in a melee build. You're not really going to get many opportunities to hit him. The percentage death thing with his sword can really mess you up. Really cool boss fight. One of my favorites in Elden Ring. Where I'd place it though? I think Malekith is S tier. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's like very close, like bordering S tier boss fight. I think Malekith is really, really good. Margot, the Fell Omen. The roadblock. The person who will stop you from the flame of ambition. The voice actor for Margot. Really good voice actor. His moveset from Margot. I don't know if I really like his moveset. It forces, it's like they're trying to tell you that you're not supposed to dodge everything, and I don't like that. He's the king of delayed attacks. Pretty annoying boss. Margot, he is probably the most difficult first boss in all of Souls. You got Undex in Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2. I don't even know. Dark Souls 1, Asylum Demon, Demon Souls, Tartarus Demon, I think. Bloodborne, you got Gasso Coin. Margot, I would say he's probably with his brother, B tier. Morgott, the Omen King, A tier boss fight. That boss fight goes crazy. When he says, felled by King Morgott, last of all kings, writ on your meager grave, that shit went hard. His moveset is nutty. It's like, it's exactly like his brother in terms of, this is like, you just got a taste of the moveset. This is the moveset fully realized. I don't think Morgott is S tier though. And the reasoning for why is you see Margot so early in the game to where when you fight Morgott again, usually like, I don't know if they expected you to be lower level or something, but you usually pub stop Morgott. You just destroy him. Cool boss though. Morgott, he wasn't given grace. He was born in Omen, but he still protected the Erdtree and wasn't greedy for the Great Runes. One of the only demigods to do that. Moog, he didn't go after his Great Rune. Well, I don't know about that actually. Instead he went after children. Knight Cavalry. You see this boss fight so many times. Let me put it with the ball bearing here, wherever that is. I like the one with the halberd. I use that weapon the entire game. Probably my favorite halberd in the game. Nox Duo, literally just two enemies you see in the Eternal City. D-tier boss fights. Omen Killer. This guy goes nuts as a summon. Nuts. I don't really use summons, but I used him. I've used him once or twice, and I saw other people use him, and he goes crazy. I think he's one of the best summons in the game. The boss fight, where you fight him in the abandoned town, where all those old, I don't know what those things even were, the Albernax. And there's two dogs there. I think the boss fight really isn't that good. You fight the Omen Killer again with another boss. It's alright. Patches. Patches is S tier. Patches is easily S tier. I put Patches above Millennia. Patches is the best boss fight in the game, easily. Onyx Lord, those guys are jokes. D tier. You can just keep on hitting them and they get staggered. It's not even a boss fight. Those guys are jokes. Perfumers, another D tier boss fight. You see those guys over Lendale. Putrid Tree Spirit. I despise these bosses. I think those are F tier. They just keep on swarming around. They're super unpredictable. I hate that boss fight. Those things are so annoying. God, I hate those fucking bosses. Radagon of the Golden Order. The most fair and best boss fight in the game. I would say Radagon is probably close, like second to Millennia of my favorite boss fight in the game. Red Wolf of Radagon, they spam these throughout the game. D-tier boss fight. Really annoying boss. It is extremely aggressive. It spams magic. It's a dollar store Sif, to be honest with you. Rykord, Lord of Blasphemy. A gimmick boss. We got the gimmick boss in Dark Souls 3. This is just a better version of that, I guess. I would say he's probably B tier. I wouldn't put it as A tier because he's a gimmick boss. Kind of easy, really easy boss. Scaly Misbegotten, B tier. Just a regular mob enemy. Sir Gideon Offner, he's monologuing and you just beat him. Kind of a joke. I'd put him in C tier because if you let him monologue and you fight him, like you might actually have a hard time because he goes nuts with those spells, man. Soldiers of Godrick. This Spirit Kale Snail. Regal Ancestor Spirit. You fight this guy twice. One is the real one, one's like the weaker version. I really like this boss. I'd put that in A tier. The music for it is an experience, to be sure. I don't like how it heals though. So I'm gonna put this one in A tier. I think that's just annoying. Renala, Queen of the Fullgrown, gimmick fight. I'd say Renala is probably like bordering B, C. I think I'll give her the B tier treatment. I think I changed my mind on Godfrey, by the way. I'm gonna put him at A tier now. I think that's fair. Royal Knight Roletta, this Loretta again. Put her with the other counterpart, I guess. Royal Revenant. The absolute worst enemy in the game. I've said this multiple times, but I absolutely despise the Revenants. Awful. They're awful. I despise the Revenants. It's absolute cancer. The Rune Bear, D tier. Star Scourge Radon, you know it. I know it. We all know it. Radon, I'll put him right there. Radon is such a cool boss fight, one of the most iconic in the game. Stone Digger Troll, D tier. Tibia Manor, I love Boatman, put him C tier. Tree Sentinel, he's a teacher, he teaches you not to fight every boss. He's C tier. Valiant Gargoyles, F tier. Wormface, F tier. Abductor Virgins, D tier. Adam, oh yeah, this guy has a legendary fire thing, that's trash. Put that in D tier. Alabaster Lord, I think that's just one of the Onyx Lords, but stronger. D tier. Black Knife Ringleader, oh yeah, that's the mom of the summon that you get. Pretty difficult. If you're, I beat her pretty easily because I had a frost weapon. Absolutely destroyed her. I would say that's a C tier boss fight. Ancient Hero Zamor, D tier. Astel Natural Born of the Void, really cool boss, really cool name. I think I'd give it the B tier treatment. You fight it twice. Yeah, that's my list. I think this is a pretty objective list. Lots of D tier bosses. Maybe there's some of these D tier bosses that belong in C tier, but seeing how they're just regular enemies sometimes that you fight again, I think that determines my placement for the list. Lots of these bosses I do not think are very good. I think they are very boring, pretty basic. These bosses I think are even worse. Kind of a joke. C tier, I think these are just alright bosses. I don't really have any problems with them. They're not bad, not good. They're just alright. B tier bosses, some of the better bosses in the game. A tier bosses, I think these are better. What determines an A tier from a B tier is that A tier is just on another level, as same as A to S. S tier, top 5 best bosses in the game, easily. And yeah, that's my list. Tell me, do you disagree with my list? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's about it for me. This is quite a long video. See you, don't go hollow out there.